just take that gentleman with a thick shirt?
Yeah. Yes, I've got a question. The ANC and the DA, they enforce the national curriculum on all learners, public and the private, and for the home education as well. Now, actually my question is there research or studies being done to ensure that this enforcement of a national curriculum does not restrict or unreasonable restrict the right of a child to education?
The new constitution puts the onus on education to be provided to all our children. Okay? Whether they choose to do homeschooling or do you choose to do private schooling is up to them. But according to the law, the monitoring needs to be done by the state to make sure that they are in school. Because schooling is compulsory from grades 1 to grade 9 or from age 7 to age 15. There's no compulsion for any schooling out of those constraints. I did have a meeting with the national minister. I took it offline with her at the KEM Thursday a week ago about homeschooling. Because I had a flood of complaints in the ministry about the issue around the new curriculum and how that might impact on homeschooling. I've asked for clarity from the national minister. She's promised me that her successor, that she'll put it on her list for her successor so that there can be a policy. From the Western Cape government's perspective, we cannot preempt what the national department will do, and this is not a political meeting. This is a government report back meeting. You're most welcome to phone me in my office and I'll give you my own personal views. But I don't want to do it from a public government platform because I do not mix party and state. Okay? Yes?
A comment and then a question is, we are aware of some young women finding out that when they are pregnant, to follow up on what Aleti said,
Yes.
that they are actually drinking consciously, because if the baby is born and it is severely disabled,
They
they
get a high
qualify for
social
a better
grant.
social grant. And I think that is absolutely disgusting, but it's something that we need to take note of. And then my next question is, just today being Human Rights Day, is there no way that the Human Rights Commission can actually be asked to look into and possibly lay charges against the Eastern Cape Department of Education because of the terrible situation that some of their children have to face on a daily basis? I'm talking about the 100 students or learners in a classroom, the mud schools, that sort of thing, because that is an infringement of those children's basic human rights. Thank you.
Okay. Let me take your second question first. Equal Education is doing a rather good job. So are a couple of other social agencies in holding the government to account. And the Eastern Cape, 2 days ago, you might be a bit out of date, it's just been taken to court.
I am out of date. Thank you.
Okay. Let me tell you, our Premier is not one to mince her words. And her view on the social grant issue. Look, if a child and a mother, and I received some shocking statistics the other day, these are recent statistics of the number of single mother households in South Africa versus other countries in the world. Do you know what those statistics are? Most of the countries, developed countries, are between 5 and 10% of the population are single mother households. And then it ratchets up over some countries. And the highest other country is 25% of women are single mother households. South Africa is 45%. So that does keep me awake at night. Because I said in Parliament in my budget speech, in a response to the debate, my budget speech in response to my debate, I was asked the question, what is government going to do about children not in school? And I said, where are the parents in this equation? Where is the responsibility of the parents in this equation? Because an unborn child, to take your idea further, what rights for the unborn child? That is something that the Human Rights Commission should take up. Constitutionally, the Premier, and I better be careful what I say now, feels that if it is proven that a mother has drunk in excess on purpose in order to increase the child grant to one of disability, should be criminally charged.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. And our Premier, say Draini Dukis Omni, asked me, I've worked for her for 5 years. I was self-employed 9 years before then. I was used to being my own boss. It's been quite interesting working for Premier Zille for 5 years. But then he said, I've enjoyed it. Much what other people may think, it's been an interesting 5 years. And she's been a great ally in education. I think I've answered your questions. What I'm worried about is I'm running out of time. Yeah. Yes.
I'm glad you mentioned the previous curriculum. And this curriculum now we have, we, like you said, we sit with a lot of single parents. There's actually no parent involvement. So this new curriculum doesn't really work for our kids. And the kids come, they just come to school. They don't attend a grade R class, overcrowded classrooms. What kind of research do you done to actually see, does this curriculum work for us?
This curriculum is a light years improvement on the old hodgepodge where a teacher created a paint-by-numbers approach to education. At least this curriculum, and I'm not an educationist, but I listen to people who know about education. This is a huge improvement on what it was. Some people are still adapting to the rigors of it, but let me tell you, it's far better than anything we've had before. Far better. I'm a fan of it. I think we've got to be patient and allowed to bed down. This is the last year we are implementing the last 4 grades. Grades 7 to 9, which we trained our teachers for last year, and grade 12 are being implemented for the first time in 2014. It will take time for the new national curriculum statement to bed down. But with the introduction of broadband, we will enable our teachers to download online lesson plans for a grade and a subject according to a timetable, which will take out a lot of the guesswork around the implementation and the pacing of the curriculum. And then the teacher will be able to use more creative means to tailor the curriculum to the needs of the learner in the classroom. So I think teaching is going to become an exciting place in the future. Because if technology is used properly as it should be in the education space, I think it's a huge catalyst for improved outcomes. And if I have anything to do with it, I will make sure there's more investment in that area. Big time. I mean, the Premier would like to have every kid with a curriculum, all the books, the textbooks, the exercises on a smartphone. And then at the end of the year it gets wiped clean and a new syllabus is put on and you start again. It's not going to happen. It hasn't happened anywhere else in the world except in Finland and Singapore. Finland and Singapore it's worked, but then in order to teach in those countries you need a master's degree. Okay? Which will say something else to you. The most important element, differentiating factor in education, what do you think it is? The quality of the teacher. It's also the income earned from the parents. The higher the income earning from the parents, the more they invest in their children's education. Why? Because they're not stupid. They know that if you reinvest in your child's education, your child's going to have a better chance in life. That is what we want to do. We want to be the open opportunity society which is creating opportunities for people in the Western Cape. That's our mantra. Okay.